So, as you can tell, or in other words, can't, if you haven't played the game, Red Dead Redemption tries to put you into the footsteps of an American cowboy in 1911, the late stages of when the army and the police tried to put an end to the era of outlaws and bandits. You play as John Marston, a former outlaw in the border of Mexico, trying to redeem himself to save his family from a backstabbing sheriff who will make you kill the members of your former gang to earn your family back. I've been playing this game since it came out, and in this very day, a strange occurrence happened, something that I cannot describe shortly, so here goes, the tale of the redeemed and the unfortunate. As I walked onto the train in Blackwater, trying to cut down time needed to get to Fort Mercer, the least thing I wanted to do was accidentally fire off a round and get my bounty to some ungodly level to the point of the army trying to take me down. But I later realized, my real worst fear would be to sit down on the train. As I did so, a near fog rested among the outskirts of the town, and, thinking it was just the in-game weather changing, I shrugged it off. But then, the scariest of things began to happen. The fog crept into the town, so close that I couldn't even see 10 feet in front of me. And to my surprise, two people, their skin gray, began slowly crawling towards the side of the train. Now, by then I thought it could be a random event, a sort of Day of the Dead theme, because the game took place near Mexico, and that these people were just dressed as zombies. But after a closer look, they had bullet holes throughout their body. I checked to make sure that I wasn't on a dead nightmare, the zombie add-on, but then I remembered that the train isn't even in that add-on. All of a sudden two arms grabbed Jack from behind the chair he was sitting on and held him down. Seconds later, all of the faces in the train turned at me to reveal horribly disfigured, beaten-in faces that appear to have been dead for quite some time. But then I looked closer into the faces of the people and saw that they were the main characters of the story. In one side was Javier Escuela, Dutch Van der Linde, and Bill Williamson, the main antagonists of the series. In the other side was full of characters who helped you through the story, people like Bonnie McFarlane, Louisa Fortuna, and Nigel West Dickens. I had already beaten the campaign, so I was playing as Jack. But even though he had probably never seen them, he recognized them like he saw them the other day. The train started and took off. I don't mean flew, but it started driving as fast as possible, so fast the game couldn't keep up. The map was loading slower than the train. The entire train was hovering over some void in the map. The only way I can describe it is that it had just flown to some other dimension in the game, and I was approaching some sort of new realm. As the zombified characters stared at me, I could do nothing, not even draw my gun, as the two arms were holding Jax down. When I reached the realm, the arms let go and I was pushed out of the train, expecting to fall through the ground due to the fact that there was no floor. I was surprised to see that my character had fallen off of the train onto Armadillo, only it had a darker side to it. It resembled Tumbleweed, with broken windows, rotted walls, and the crows were flying like locusts. The train departed before I could get back onto it, and I was stuck in a ghost town, which I soon figured out wasn't even close to that. I had looked into my inventory to find that the only two guns I had were the Cattleman revolver and the repeating rifle, the two guns you start out with. Seconds after I drew them out, I saw the ghostly, pale, zombified faces of such Western outlaws as Billy the Kid, Jesse James, Calamity Jane, John Chisholm, and Jack McCall. I had taken an interest in Western movies, so I had recognized these faces, but some people in the town I could not recognize. Scared and running out of options, I fled to the top of the saloon where I took aim at Jesse James. Quickly he drew, almost as fast as they said he could in legend, but he couldn't pull the trigger in time. I had taken the shot and knocked his head clean off, but then something happened. He stood up, and with no head called upon the other people to chase me down. I leaped off the balcony and took off towards the sheriff's office, trying to find something to help me. Then I remembered that I could call upon my horse, and take myself out of the town quickly. I whistled for my horse, but instead of my blonde horse, out came the 4 horses of the apocalypse, war, pestilence, death, and famine. I went to go for one, but then a voice shouted out. It was Landon Ricketts, the cowboy from Las Hermanas. He said, "War brings death, death brings pestilence, pestilence brings famine, and famine creates war. The cycle always repeats, so no horse is any less suitable to ride." I ran to the war horse, and leapt on. I rode away, as fast as possible, but to my surprise the zombified outlaws picked up pace, and were running as fast as my horse. One of them reached up, and dragged me down. There they started attacking me, all of them. They chanted out loud that you could never trust a person as long as they lived, if they lived the life, if crime, as they did. They were punching and kicking me for at least 10 minutes until the familiar dead scream came up. But it wouldn't go away. I took the disc out and put it back in, but it still just says dead. I tried switching my TV from auxiliary, which is what my TV setting is for gaming, to just TV, but the dead was still there. No matter what channel I put it on, it still said dead even after I turned off the TV. So I went to technical support and reported the entire fiasco, and they thought I was prank calling them, so they hung up. After seeing that no one believed me, I hung up and slept. Then the next day, which is today, I got on the computer to say what had happened to me. Just please, if I now fear for your safety, do not, I repeat, do not ever sit down in a chair in the trains in this game.